Hi everybody, my name is Aaron Mitchell. In this series of videos, I want to tell you about something I did in March of 2024. In the beginning of March of 2024, I began the Camino Mozárabe in Almería, Spain. I only had a couple of weeks off from work, so I only had time to walk from the city of Almería in southeastern Spain to Granada. The Camino Mozárabe is just one route taken by peregrinos, or pilgrims, who want to walk through the cities and countryside of the Iberian Peninsula on their way to the city of Santiago de Compostela in the northwestern corner of Spain. In this video, I hope to give you an idea of what to expect from the 200-kilometer walk between Almería and Granada. I will discuss everything from what I had packed, what I wish I had packed, what to expect for food and lodging options, and what the climate and terrain are like. If you are looking for a relatively safe, affordable, and accessible adventure, the Camino Mozárabe might be for you. Before the Camino, I contacted Nelly and Mercedes from the Asociación Jacobea de Almería a Granada. I also joined their Facebook group and downloaded the guide that they publish. Nelly and Mercedes were extremely generous in providing information before and during my Camino experience. I referenced the guide several times a day for information about distances, the maps, and albergue reservations. I didn't download any of the Camino apps available, but all of the other peregrinos that I met had. After missing arrows and losing my way a couple of times, I can see how the apps are very helpful, and I will probably download something before my next Camino. Another peregrino from France had a book that had very detailed information about the trail. It also helped out once when I thought I was lost. I live in Alaska. Knowing that I would be walking in a desert in southern Spain, I gambled by bringing as little gear as possible. I packed hiking pants and shorts, 2 quick-dry athletic t-shirts, and a quick-dry long-sleeved shirt I usually wear as a base layer. And at the last minute, I threw in a cotton sweater to keep myself warm on the airplane. I also had a buff and a large brimmed hat. I threw in a disposable plastic poncho I got for free at some point, on the off chance that I encountered rain in a dry desert. In hindsight, this was a bad idea. The desert in southern Spain turned out to be cooler and wetter than I had hoped, at least during the time that I was there. The next time, I will definitely be packing rain pants, a quality poncho, and an outer layer that is better suited for chilly, wet conditions. On a positive note, knowing that I would walk several kilometers in dry riverbeds, I purchased and packed gaiters, and they did a great job of keeping pebbles out of my shoes and keeping the tops of my shoes dry. They were small and light and very useful. Concerning the other Camino essentials of note, I bought a used Gregory 30-liter pack, and it was the perfect size for me. I wore Ultra Lone Peak trail runners for hiking and Keen hiking sandals around the pueblos in the evenings. I bought a lightweight sleeping bag, and I used it every night. I never felt too hot or too cold. I bought this Osprey crossbody bag instead of a fanny pack, and I'm ambivalent about the decision. Regardless, it was nice to have an easy access pouch for money, phone, and camera. Almería is a great city where I would love to spend more time. Before beginning my Camino, I spent a day exploring the city center and the new parts of town as well. I would have loved to spend more time on the beach and in the Cabo de Gata National Park. There's a lot to see and do in Almería, and I barely scratched the surface in one day. Nellie from the association took me and a few other peregrinos to the Pilgrim's Mass at the cathedral in the evening. Though I am not a religious person, this seemed like an appropriate way to begin the Camino. The priest was friendly and put the first stamp into my credenciale. The cathedral was also worthy of the time to visit it. The morning I began my Camino, I took the time to visit the Alcazaba, and I am happy I did. It is an impressive sight, and the views of the sea and Almería from the Alcazaba are unmatched. Like the city itself, I could have spent much more time at the Alcazaba. After leaving the Alcazaba, I made my way back to the cathedral and began following arrows to my first destination, Rioja. It is easy for me to describe the thrill of beginning a Camino. Finding arrows becomes a treasure hunt, and every arrow I found inspired a surge of joy, a silent cheer pushing me onward. I felt like I was floating for those first few kilometers as I left the city center and moved to the outskirts of Almería. The association has broken the Camino from Almería to Granada into 9 stages. Of course, a peregrino does not have to stick to the stages, as they are suggested by the association, and the association guide provides information for peregrino-friendly lodging options in pueblos that are on and off stage. It is helpful to know that the association maintains albergues in pueblos and cities that are on and off stage. However, the association does not maintain all of the albergues in all of the cities and pueblos that are on stage. The guide, the apps, and the guidebooks all have information about albergues, hostels, and other peregrino-friendly lodging options. It is recommended that a peregrino contact their anticipated lodging a day or two before they get there. When I began, I planned to stay on stage and spend 9 days walking to Granada. As it turned out, I would make it to Granada in 8 days. Every night but one, I stayed on stage as suggested by the association. My first day of walking, the first stage as suggested by the association, was a 15-kilometer walk from Almería to Rioja. Leaving the cathedral in Almería, you spend the first 6.5 kilometers walking through the city and into its outskirts. After about 6.5 kilometers, you enter a riverbed and walk there for a while before walking into the welcoming pueblo of Pechino. After Pachino, the arrows lead you back to the riverbed, where you will walk for about 2 kilometers before entering Rioja. This albergue is maintained by the association, and you will need to contact the association to get the information to enter the albergue. The albergue, like many others, is a municipal building. In Rioja, it is part of the complex that includes basketball, soccer, and tennis courts, and the community swimming pool. Being March, the pool was not in use and was not maintained for swimmers. There was a small grocery store in Rioja, as well as at least one bar that I saw. Keep in mind that these small pueblos shut down between 2 and 5:30 p.m. Even though I arrived at Rioja at about 3, I couldn't find any food in town until the store opened at 5:30.